Hey guys, Nick here, and welcome back to my Supergirl episode review. My thoughts on last night's episode of Supergirl titled The Martian Chronicles. And I apologize for this video being a day late. My girlfriend's dad was in town yesterday, so most of my time was spent with them. And I'm still in the process of moving in with my girlfriend. So you guys noticed some of my videos lately have been shot with this blank background, and I'm not in my room at my parents' house. So as I'm in the process of moving, my videos are going to be shot in various locations. I may not be using my usual space. That being said, I'm still going to try to do my best to get my videos out timely, somewhat. So I'm filming this Tuesday night, and I'm hoping to at least get my flash review done for you guys tonight after this is done. So my thoughts on this past episode of Supergirl, and it was a fun episode. It was definitely one of those bottle episodes, if you guys know what that means. So basically, the fact that this episode was on lockdown, all the action took place within the DEO, meaning the characters had a confined space and the writers had a confined story or a confined place to tell the story, and it makes for a fun just episode of the week. You guys know, this didn't further the plot necessarily. There was definitely some cool character development between McGann and Jean, as well as some character development between Alex and Kara, and because Kara is still getting used to the idea of Alex and Maggie being together, and Kara not having as much time to spend with her sister. And this week's episode was her Earth birthday, and Kara was upset that Alex wasn't there to celebrate it with her because they were trying to go to some concert. And while that wasn't my favorite part of the episode, I think this episode was definitely stronger than last week's, especially because I love the whole White Martian stuff, and it's very it has a political message to it. I feel like this whole season about the whole refugee thing and accepting people and just loving people for who they are, whether they're aliens or human, whatever. The season has had a lot to say without shoving it in your face. First season, as much as I loved first season, there were the first some episodes where they really hit you over the head with the feminist message. And I have no problem with feminists. I consider myself a feminist. I'm very, pro women's rights and all that stuff. But there were times in, first season where they did kind of nail you over the head with it. And I was like, guys, can tone it down for a second. So you guys, I support your message and I support what you're trying to say, but maybe tone it down a bit because it's a little too obvious. So with this season, the whole thing is accepting refugees and accepting people of all races or whatever. And I'm really liking that. And in this episode, especially the war between the White Martians and the Green Martians being touched on more in this episode, and seeing how, of course, the White Martians are the ones who are trying to dominate their planet, as, the history of white people have tried to dominate Earth for thousands of years. So it's funny seeing that aspect of it and how this episode was being a little political in that aspect. And I really enjoyed it because, again, didn't nail you over the head with it. And I love how just McGann, it's kind of McGann's episode to kind of, accept that, even though she is a White Martian, Earth kind of is her home, and Jean is one of the first people to really accept McGann and forgive her for not McGann necessarily did anything bad, but because she's a White Martian, that he does trust her and accept her as one of his own. And I thought that there's a really emotionally powerful scenes in there. And finding out more of McGann's backstory, we know with the White Martian who was after her, we find out that was her husband on Mars. So that was an interesting element to add to it. I don't understand why they had to have the two different Martians, because the second one kind of came out of nowhere as they were locked in the DEO. And of course, with this being the White Martian thing and them being locked down, it's the whodunit kind of thing, because you can't really trust anyone because the White Martian can take the form of anyone. And in this episode, the White Martian took the form of Alex and Wynn, which made for some interesting scenes between Alex and Kara towards the end of the episode. And I thought Kara in this episode was definitely better because, and I do like the fact that she stated that she doesn't like Mon-El, because I've said it several times. I hate the Mon-El storyline. I don't like his character. This is the first episode where I'm really okay, he's not terrible, but he's not great. It's hard for me to like a guy when the writers are so obviously forcing him into this stupid romantic storyline, and to me it doesn't work. And his chemistry with Kara, that whole thing, and then Kara last week saying it was why she's so against James being Guardian, when Mon-El, just because he has superpowers, he has a right to be a superhero, but James can't just because he's human. And even though Kara's worked with several people who have powers, or even who don't have powers, who are out there fighting people who are human, but it's a problem with James. That was my biggest thing about last week's crappy episode, to be honest. And this week, Kara toned back on that a little bit, so it was nice to see how her and Wynn kind of have that little exchange of dialogue a couple times throughout the episode, bringing that up. She just wants them to be safe, and that's where, like, I can get her just wanting them to be safe, and maybe not necessarily wanting to do it, but still, like, not being like, I can't accept this at all. You're being reckless and blah, blah, blah. Like, that's way too much. That seems really out of character and hypocritical of Kara to say. But with her and Wynn, you know, having that little bit of interaction and saying, you know, I hope you guys are safe out there. Like, that is something, that's the Kara that I know, and that's the Kara that I love. What else? I thought it was weird that James wasn't in this episode, you know, because James, I think, has been one of the highlights of this episode. And I really feel that this has been his season. The whole Guardian storyline and the whole just him and Kara kind of like being on opposing sides. And I really just like seeing him standing on his own as a character and trying not to stand in the shadow of Superman or Kara. And I really like his character development this season. They're fleshing him out more. Because honestly, this isn't the Jimmy Olsen from the comics in almost any way whatsoever, just in name only. But I've kind of really grown to appreciate the character, and I really like him, and I really like Macabre Brooks. I think he does a really great job in the show, and I like him as Guardian. I still think he needs an upgrade on that suit, because I still don't think that suit is great looking. Not a terrible suit. It's not like the fourth season of Arrow when they had that weird Diggle Magneto helmet thing, but it's still, you can use some work. But that being said, I still like James's storyline so far this season for the most part, except for the fact of them ditching him and Carl's romantic storyline just because of Mon-El and all that crap. What else? I mean, all the action stuff in this episode was great. Again, this is kind of more or less of a filler episode. I'm really looking forward to next week's episode, which is the Luthers. I've loved the Lena Luthor character so far this season. I'm really excited what they do with the whole Cadmus storyline, because they haven't really addressed that since before the crossover. And I'm really just excited for the rest of season one it has to offer, because Supergirl, this has been a really strong second season. And I'm really excited for what the show has left so far. And honestly, I think that being said, that's going to be it for me. So what did you guys like about this episode? Sound your thoughts in the comment section below. Give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for all the other content I'll be uploading soon. As I said, I will be doing my Flash review sometime tonight, so you guys can check that out. I will be reviewing Arrow tomorrow night, as well as have other videos upcoming as well. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time, have a good one.